Hello everyone, it's Max here. Today it's our day number 4 of the Intel Arc Challenge. And dude, it has been a rough one. It has been a real rough one. What I tried to do today? Well, I tried to play video games, like a lot of video games, while streaming them on YouTube. And we gather a lot of learning. They're all not bad, but I would say most of them are not great. So let's get into it. Oh la la, what a roller coaster it has been. I've been jumping into this challenge because I thought it would be really interesting for us, to learn about this experience. But also, I had a high hope toward Intel. I don't know if you're aware about the GPU situation, but for the last 2 or 3 years, it has been pretty disgusting. And I was really expecting Intel coming strong and give us a real alternative with their lineup of graphic cards to kind of shake things up and at the end lower the price. Consumer and PC enthusiasts in general need more competition because more competition should drive the price down no matter what the context is. So what is the best way to really test if this card is going to make it or not? This challenge. Just switch your graphic card and see if you can do your daily task with this card. So obviously, I'm not expecting the type of, I would say, performance from this card to be aligned to my 3090. It's not the same category of card, but I think it can give you a good idea of what this card can do and cannot do, even if you buy a higher end, like a A770. So let's start with my editing experience. I'm using Davinci Resolve Studio for editing those videos. And what really shocked me is after installing the driver and setting everything in Windows, it was pretty smooth. I just started Davinci Resolve and everything showed up. The card was recognized. They also had I could see different transcoding option while going to the transcoding section of Davinci Resolve. So you can use AV1 right off the bat with this card, which is pretty awesome. You have nothing to do. It just works. Now, when it comes to the type of footage I edit on a daily basis, for example, I'm recording right now in 4K 30 FPS, 8 bits. I think it's 444. So it's pretty demanding, and trying to manipulate this kind of footage with this small card in Davinci Resolve was not fun. If you just cut the footage and don't really add any effect to the content, well, it will work and it will do the job. Now, if you want to add all those effects, at the moment you had only one effect in Davinci Resolve, the software is in pain. Just thinking about it right now and the fact that I'm gonna have to edit on this card, the footage I'm actually shooting, give me anxiety. It's not easy. It's the first time that I have Davinci Resolve crashing. It's not fun. Now, could it be different if I was using a higher end card? Maybe, like a A770, for example. Maybe it will be different. Unfortunately, I don't have the card. But this is my experience with this card. It's rough. The other point I want to mention is you can export in AV1 because obviously I tried. It will work depending on the setting you put in the AV1 codec. So I think there is 4 settings available. You have CBR, VBR, and then you have CQP and intelligent CQP. I could export with VBR and CBR, but with CQP, the card will just die. Davinci Resolve will just crash no matter what resolution I use, no matter what CQP I use like setting inside, it will just crash. I wasted like I think 6 or 7 hours 2 days ago trying to export that because I wanted to have a AV1 encoding on YouTube. It was part of the experience. So I had to export in VBR. Something to learn. I don't know if it's related to Davinci Resolve or the card itself or the driver, but it just didn't work. Also, another learning is like after getting my export in AV1 on my hard drive, I uploaded it on YouTube. And somehow YouTube decided to retranscode it. And something funny happened because at this date, like almost like 2 days after I uploaded the video, it's still it's still showing being processed in my YouTube like dashboard. So I don't know what's going on down there, but there is definitely a problem because it's still showing as processed. And the video that YouTube is pushing to us is now encoded in VP9. So what is the point of going through the hassle to encode in AV1 if after YouTube is just retranscoding it in VP9? I don't know. That's something, to think about. Like if you think you're gonna go into this graphic card just to have all your video in AV1 on YouTube, well, guess what? I don't think it's going to happen because YouTube is still transcoding them anyway. So I'm gonna try to export it again, like this video in AV1. Just right click on the video, check the stat for nerd, and tell me in the comment below if it's in AV1 or not. We'll see. But I think it's an interesting point there. A good learning point. Now, let's jump into the gaming experience. Oh boy. As we say in France, oh la la. Oh la la. What a roller coaster. I made a stream of 4 hours. If you want to see all the experience, like a really deep dive, I'm gonna put a link in the video description below, and you're gonna be able to check it, the full experience. Right now, I'm just gonna go over it and kind of like make a little synthesis of my experience by game. So I started with Apex Legends, and I had one of the weirdest driver issue like I ever had in my life. The game will run, but it would run like the FPS will show something like 100 FPS, 140 FPS, like the counter in the game, but the counter on the Steam, like counter will be around 40 or 80. Like I'll be like, what is happening? The experience is just like straight atrocious. To give you an idea, like I had a challenge on Linux where I will be running a 1050 Ti while streaming to YouTube. And I was able to win game. The FPS were not crazy. The experience was not like, really good, but it was playable. Here, it was just unplayable. And I'm pretty upset because Apex Legends right now is my favorite game. I love to play this game. Okay, like don't judge me, but I really love playing this game. And it felt like it was barely unplayable. To me, it was kind of like the shader compilation issue I encountered while I was playing on Linux, except like I was on Windows. Some of the viewers were like, "Oh yeah, Linux is just like playing against you." But dude, I'm playing on Windows right now, and it's just not working. So that was the experience for Apex Legends. Second game I pushed was CSGO. So CSGO was a really good surprise. I didn't have to play with the resolution. I had a solid like 90 to 400 FPS in game while playing FFA in Dust 2 at 1440p. And yeah, I was cool. I have to admit, like it was really nice for the price. And like the experience was definitely worth it. So good job, Intel. Third game I wanted to try was Getting Over It. I just wanted to have the experience of a 2D game, at a higher refresh rate, like high resolution with a small card. And I was not disappointed. It's a simple like 2D game. I put all the settings to the max. I played. I had no input lag issue. It was fun. And this little card will be definitely doing the job on all those like I would say like simple like 2D games. It will just work. So it's a good learning. Then I went into another game which is one of my favorite game for like the last 2 years. It's called Valheim. And I know this game is demanding and not demanding at the same time. So I wanted to test it. And it was kind of like playable in low settings at 1440p. You will get around like 40 to 50 FPS. As the visual were not great, I have to say it. But when I switched the resolution to 1080p, I had around like 70, 80 FPS, and it was like super playable. So if you don't have a 1440p screen and you're still in 1080p, well, Intel could be a good alternative for you. Something also I wanted to try, because this card is supposed to deliver like better results when you play on Vulkan. I wanted to try this game because Valheim gives you the opportunity to choose between like, Vulkan and non-Vulkan experience. So I tried Vulkan, and to my surprise, when I use the Vulkan like a launcher, I would have less FPS. So like around like 10% less FPS, and the game was not as fluid. So some things to take in consideration. Sometimes the promise is just not, like reach the promise. No, it did not happen there. Then I switched to GTA 5. And I was pretty surprised by the result. I got like, I did the benchmark, and I got like 100 plus FPS in 1440p low settings. Not bad for the price of this card. Even if it's a pretty old game, I have to admit, like, the experience was smooth. And I was looking at the benchmark, and I was like, dude, like this is decent. This is actually decent. So GTA 5, if you play this game, good experience. Then we switch to Elden Ring. Elden Ring, again, I was pretty impressed. I just used the setting I was using on my 3090. And obviously, like, the FPS were not that high, but it was not like unplayable. I was expecting to be at 10 FPS or 20 FPS. And even if I didn't have like the FPS counter there, I could tell like I was around like 40 to 50 FPS. It's playable. Is it the best experience you're gonna get? No. Like, let's be clear. But it's playable. And I'm sure like if you play with a resolution a little bit deeper, you're gonna have like a pretty solid experience. Really, again, like Elden Ring, good experience. Then I switched to Cyberpunk 2077. I wanted to do it for the meme, okay? I was like, this game is incredibly demanding. I don't even see the card running it. Well, guess what? I got 28 FPS in the 1440p benchmark. And then I enabled like FSR 2.1, because Intel like support FSR 2.1. And it was pretty darn good. I got like 40 FPS. It was not bad at all. I still say that like I went to a game, like get outside the benchmark and start to run around and look at the different details. It's not perfect, okay? But for the price of the card, you will still have, like the game experience. Like sometimes the game are not about all graphic. You just want to go there and, go through the story and be at a level of graphic and like FPS where you can just enjoy the game as it is and not go too much into like, wow, look at this shadow, it's wonderful, and whoa, but I think the card is enough to deliver that. And for the price, again, like that's a good deal in my standard. Then I wanted to push it to the max and play like one of the latest like competitive game, unoptimized game called Call of Duty Warzone 2. Yes, I did it. So what I did, it's pretty simple. I took my settings, again, that I use on my 3090, and just push them into this card. And it was bad. Okay, it was bad. I got like 20 to 50 FPS in game. It's, my opinion, is just unplayable competitively. But to Intel defense, like, is the game right now is like badly optimized or badly optimized. I see like a lot of people upgrading their PC just to play this game. On my 3090, I would get like between 140 and 100, I would say like 90 FPS. Sometimes I have some bump at 200 plus FPS. It's playable, but compared to like my 3090, I think it's kind of unoptimized. It's just bad. I still managed to kill someone within the game, but dude, like it's not the type of hardware you want to have if you want to play competitive. Like, let's get straight. Intel, you are not up to par there. Okay, even if the game is not optimized, Intel too. Like, if you want to see more, like I will again like put the link in the description below. Overall, I would say like the game experience was good. For the price, again, like it was not, like game changing, but it's really related to the type of game you want to play. And that's, I think, the big learning. It's like sometimes like the experience will be awesome, like in CSGO, and sometimes the experience will be disgusting, and it's not some type related to the complexity of the game. Like Apex Legends is not a hard game to run, and it was just unplayable. And when you think about a game like GTA 5, it was running really well, which was like super surprising to me. Another thing that hit me during my test, my screen will go black. And it was not like a power, like setting where you just, saving energy. It was just related to the card. It will just go dark for 2 seconds and then come back. I don't know what it is, but it's something mentioning because it could be game breaking. And again, like it's related to the driver. Intel driver, they need a lot of work. A lot of work. For the gaming experience, that's what it was. Now, let's move to the streaming experience. All the content you have seen in this video has been captured by my second PC, okay? If you want to know how I did that, I made a video and I'm going to put the link somewhere here where I explain why I switch like this graphic card from my streaming PC to my gaming PC. And one thing I wanted to check is like, can you stream from and play from the same PC? And the answer is no. It's a hard no. It's kind of stupid because the main reason I bought this card was to encode. This little card, if you just keep it for encoding and transcoding, is wonderful. It's the best money best performance you will get for your bucks. It's just like unbeatable right now. But if you want to play and stream at the same time, it won't happen. And what I've noticed while looking at the different graphic in my task manager, I noticed that the driver will try to push the maximum FPS for the gaming, and we also try to push the maximum FPS for encoding. And I believe because there is no type of limit in between, like, the usage dedicated for rendering the game on your screen and the, usage dedicated to just encode the capture for the stream, there is no like limit in between them. I think like those two like process will fight each other, and you will have like a staggery, like stuttery, like experience in the game, and also like the stream will be like stuttering in every direction, giving a really bad experience to the viewer. And I think like it's a driver issue. Maybe it could be like OBS too, which is not like it's still in beta phase. So maybe there is some trick they could do on their end to make sure that the transcoding is not like taking too much resources within the card. I don't know. But to date, you can't stream and play video game on the same card. I guarantee it. So something to think about if you want to go the Intel way. So guys, what did we learn from this little experience? Well, this little card, Intel is doing a great job if you just want to use it as a desktop environment. You will have a lot of output. You can run at a pretty high refresh rate. The driver, like, they're not the best, but you know, for doing the basic task, I would say they are enough. If you want to use Davinci Resolve with this card and maybe like a bigger card, I would say like it's also like a good alternative to like the NVIDIA like super expensive like card. Again, like on this one, it's a little bit harder because I didn't have the A770 to test, because it could be like a better alternative to do that. But from what I've seen, like for little editing, it should be enough. I would say like if you want to go higher, like if you have like really heavy like footage, if you want to have like a lot of effect on Davinci Resolve, I would not recommend the Intel Arc A380. It just won't be enough. Again, I'm really anxious right now, having to go and edit this video. Like I know it's gonna take me like hours, and it will be way easier on, you know, any alternative. It wouldn't be the same price, but it would be way easier. For the gaming experience, I would say it really depends what type of game you are playing. I think for the pricing they have right now, they kind of deliver. It's just like some games, if you are, for example, in Apex Legends, and they don't fix the driver, it's just a no-go. Some of the, you know, games that you want to play, they might not be like fully like, you know, playable on this Intel platform. And that could be like the reason why you're gonna have to go a different way. And it's kind of a problem, because if we want Intel to be a real alternative to NVIDIA and AMD, well, they need to work on their driver and make sure that, you know, they just not target like CSGO player and, you know, like 2D like type of game players. And they try to make the graphic card like work on every game. Because right now, I think this is just too niche. Yeah, of course, if you are a CSGO player, dude, go for it. Like having like 400 FPS, spike with a $150 card with support AV1 encoding and can do a little bit of like light editing on the side. It's good, right? You are like definitively in the right spot. But for all the other like user who want to do a little bit more gaming, well, can't really recommend this card. Now, let's say you're a content creator and you also want to stream from the same card. Well, dude, it's not happening now. And is it going to happen in the future? I don't know. To Intel defense, I've been following like the driver upgrade. They have been putting a lot of work into those cards. I'm not sure they're gonna, you know, abandon the Intel Arc lineup. And from what I've seen, like, you know, they are working toward it. So if you believe in them, if you believe in the fact that they're gonna come up with like fix and all the issues I mentioned before are gonna be like erased, you know, you could be in a good spot like 5 or 6 months from now. And, you know, you just bought those cards. Nobody wants them right now. And for $140 or $300, and you could have like a pretty solid alternative to, you know, the 3060 series from NVIDIA and the low end of AMD card for a price which is, in my opinion, like fair. So, you know, it's about what you believe the Intel like engineer are going to deliver in the coming month. Like personally, I made my choice. I already bought one. I do believe that for $150, this Intel A380 is a really good option for my streaming setup. I believe they're gonna deliver the driver for what I intend to do with this card. But again, it's just my point of view. I'm trying to give you like all the different like variable for you to make a decision on this one. So what is the next video will be about? I'm gonna try this card in Linux because we tried on Windows and that's the experience we had. I'm thinking maybe with Linux, with a little bit of tinkering and, you know, me being able to put my hand under the hood, I might get better results with this card. And I don't know, to be fair, like, I don't know. I tried to use it for transcoding material on Linux. It was a big failure. I'm gonna put a link to the video somewhere here. I'm gonna see if it works for gaming. Until then, I wanna thank you for watching this video. I want to thank you for all the guys who subscribed. I want to thank all the members who financially helped me to make those videos. And also all the Patreon. Wish me luck for editing this video on Intel. And see you on the next one. Take care.